Hey guys, back with another video. This is going to be about Danzel from Ruined Death Knight, how strong he is, and go over the tiers that he would be in. Naturally, as an undead, he is limitless when it comes to his stamina. He himself does seem to be brave, taking on dozens or more enemies at the same time. This seems to be a trend that he has from 1 to 4. That's his tiers. In the story, we do get vague descriptions of who can do at what level. Danzel does have a unique ability of Sin of Wrath. It would increase his attributes, although he would lose some of his mental fortitude. I would say at tier 1, he is superhuman due to him being limitless in stamina. Although his speed is very questionable, I would say he is fast. Probably peak athlete level. At tier 2, he would be able to bring down the wall that was holding the dungeon in. Everything within the dungeon that wall was holding in until he came along and he brought it down. The people that he was putting down were the guards. The guards weren't necessarily amazing, but they were men, they were trained, they were experienced, and they did have armor and weapons. So he took multiple of them out, and then you have that mage that attacked him, blew up a whole chunk of the forest. As the forest was burning, Danzel escaped. I wouldn't give him resistance, but I would say that he is very tough to put down. Although there aren't too many good descriptions or feats of Danzel at tier 3, we do have some things to go off of. For example, in Sasha Town, he killed everybody there. He did take out the devil in the ruin, although that was super circumstantial, and he relied very heavily on his immortality of reincarnation. There is also the war that he was able to get into in order to get into tier 4 as a tier 3. As a tier 3, he was able to fight off multiple mages on his own level, and anybody that was a tier 4 mage was never stated or never discussed, as Vanessa would likely be the one to take them out, or large portions of the army that would ever come against him did have to go up against one of the mercenaries first before actually getting to Danzel. Danzel did take out many on his own, including the dozens of mages between the months of the war with the Nature's mercenary group. He also saved William from them, so he is at least a big enough threat that they took him very seriously. They even considered him much closer to a raid boss, which is not wrong because of his endless stamina. There is a discussion of his bravery or his will. He is also shown to be able to see and interact with spirits and ghosts, where other characters such as Vanessa and Velker did not or could not, and if they did, they never showed it, they never expressed it. So Danzel could see the soul, and he can interact with it. He can harm it, like he did with the king, and he is quite the powerhouse when it comes to close quarter combat. With range, he does have his hands, which makes me think he is a very pretty good trickster when it comes down to it. Just like that one guy that he held down during the fight with the beast in the forest. That was before Nevin took him out. At tier 3, I would give Danzel a few 100 miles per hour, maybe 2 or 3, when it comes to his speed and overall reaction. When it comes to his strength, I don't think it's crazy to give him building or even higher, but nothing like multi-city block, as we just haven't seen something like that. You could make the whole over time he's going to get there, but if you give Danzel enough time, he could literally bring a whole mountain down. So that doesn't really work. Despite putting most of his points into speed, one of his greatest attributes as an undead at tier 4 is his vitality. Despite being essentially unmade, he was still able to resist it. Whether chaos is going to be expanded on or not is very questionable as of the series going right now. Overall, he is pretty impressive as a character. Whenever he got to tier 4, he was able to kill Nevin. Although we didn't get a weight or a size or even a environmental instruction of how big and strong Nevin's attacks really were, we can assume that it would likely be as strong as his meteor that he landed on the city at the border, and Danzel is able to match it, just starting off as a Death Knight, essentially, on the battlefield. So we can give him multi-city block and higher when it comes to potency. There's a discussion of whether or not it could be given to destructive capacity, but like I said, there's nothing that he has really shown to get to that level, but give him enough time, he can level anything he wants. And speed is probably the easiest when it comes down to it, as it is blatantly stated that he is able to move at Mach 1, which is good for series like maybe Attack on Titan, but not even approaching close to anything like the big 3. In the story, we are told from other people's perspectives, from the population, majority and minority. When it comes to tier 4s and 5s, they are seen closer to demigods and gods than they are actual people who are just really strong. There could be multiple explanations for this. However, as of right now, because Nevin and the rest of his magic buddies. They all were killed and impaled and essentially overtaken by the mercenaries and Danzel himself. So, tier 5 video for Danzel coming up later on. And that should be it for the guy. Thanks for watching.